morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the world of work here at Croydon College. I'm just waiting for a few more people to enter our virtual room this morning, but it's great to be with you this morning at the start of National Apprenticeship Week. And all this week, the college will be bringing you a programme of webinars for you to find out more about what it's like to be an apprentice, what type of apprenticeships might be available, and what support, help and guidance the college and everyone can give you to be part of this important element of the college. Now, today I'm delighted to have everyone with me from Croydon College and the world of work. So hi to everybody. We'll give you all a wave. There we go. So this morning, over the next few moments, we will be hearing from everybody, from the whole team who are here to help you this morning. We very much want this morning to be an opportunity for you to ask questions that you might want to know the answers about. And you can talk to us today virtually, and we'd be delighted if you have any questions, if you could put those to us. And the way that you do that this morning is you go onto the chat function. So you've got two chat functions on this webinar. You have the opportunity just to chat to us and you can make some comments, or you can just chat and ask questions, or you've actually got the Q&A function at the bottom of your screens. And if you use the Q&A function, that will give me the opportunity to put your questions to any of our panelists on your behalf this morning. So really just to stress that we very much want to hear from you. We do have a prepared presentation, but it may not be answering all of your questions. So don't feel shy. If there's something that you want to ask that we haven't covered, as I say, either use the Q&A or use the chat function, and the team here from Croydon College will be able to help you. So without further ado this morning, I'm going to invite Simon Friend, who is Head of Apprenticeships here at the college, to talk us through the presentation. So morning, Simon.
Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning on National Apprenticeship Week, day one. Very exciting for everyone, really. So I'm going to kick this presentation off, really, just to, again, reiterate, I'm head of the world of work at Croydon College, and that is essentially everything work-related, employability-related. So apprenticeships and employer engagement are really at the heart of what we do, and we've got a huge track record of doing that very, very well. So you can see from the first slide there are four sort of elements, if you like, to four strands to the world of work. Industry placements, very much about getting our full-time students into the workplace alongside their studies as well. So some great opportunities there I'll talk more about. Apprenticeships, obviously it's all about apprenticeships this week. So I've got colleagues that are going to be talking about apprenticeships as well. And we've got a whole range of different apprenticeships available to meet employer needs and people that want to get onto an apprenticeship and kick off their career opportunities there. Online learning as well, obviously in the current climate, as you can appreciate, face-to-face activities can be challenging at times. So we've got a whole raft of online learning that's available to people wanting to improve their CV, develop their skills, or to meet employer needs as well, where you've got a business that needs to upskill staff in a convenient way, really. And Kickstart, you may have heard about Kickstart on the news recently. This is a fantastic government initiative, which I'm going to talk more about, very much aimed at supporting 16 to 24-year-olds that are looking to get out of being sort of long-term unemployed, really. So opportunities there. Okay. So I'll kick off with Kickstart. So as I say, it's aimed at 16 to 24-year-olds who are on universal credit currently and at risk of long-term unemployment. Obviously not a great situation to find themselves in. So the government has come up with a brilliant scheme that really works for employers and young people as well, because this allows employers to create a six-month work placement, a real job, not sort of like, let's give a work experience opportunity. These are real jobs within industry across all the different sectors, 6 months fully paid. Okay. And there's also support funds for any training that might be needed as well, and support to help that young person engage. Okay, so as I say, it's after a 6-month period. We hope that after that 6-month period, the employer is going to be saying, wow, this young person's great. The young person is going to be saying, wow, this is fantastic. And hey, let's look at maybe moving on to an apprenticeship as a next step. Yeah, so lots of opportunities there. And we've got a great team at the college who can support that. Okay. Online learning, as I mentioned, a whole raft of different qualifications, from health and safety to customer service, project management, and they range in short courses from 4 to 8 weeks. So they're nice bite-sized chunks, and they're pretty well 90+% of them are free. So there's no cost incurred to those individuals or the businesses. So fantastic opportunity to upskill, really, if you're looking at training needs with your staff and you're saying, what do we need for CPD activities? What can we do to upskill you? Or if you are looking for a career change and you want to move in another direction, do contact us about online learning, a whole range of different disciplines there, and some brilliant staff that are really experienced in working online to support our learners. Okay. And then the work experience element, which is brilliant, actually. And what it means is those young people that are studying, 16 to 18-year-olds that maybe are either studying A-levels, maybe technical diplomas or vocational courses on a full-time basis. That means maybe 3-4 days a week at college. What the work experience enables them to do is, alongside their studies, is actually go and get real work experience in a business or a company that will enhance your studies, really, and make you more employable, make your program and study more relevant as well to you, and of course massively improve your CV. And it gives you a chance to be in the shop window, and some of those employers, they like to try before they buy. So a great opportunity, and we've got a fantastic work experience team here in the college that can support you on your studies as well. And again, apprenticeships, a lot of information this week on apprenticeships. Please do enjoy the week. We've got lots of different events going on. I'm going to now hand over to my colleague, Andrew Chalice, who's going to talk to you more about why an apprenticeship, why that opportunity. Okay, over to you, Andy.
And Andy, just before you come in, I just want to pick up, just to get Simon to pick up on, there are some questions that have already come in, which is really helpful. So just to try and answer some of these as we go along. So first of all, I've got a question from a gentleman who's 62, better suited to sitting down due to arthritis. I'm just really wondering whether, apprenticeships, is it for any age? And I know Andy's going to cover this, but specifically for this question.
Yeah, do you want me to cover, Andy, or would you? I'm happy.
I can happily cover. So It was Jeremy, I think, sent that in. Jeremy, an apprenticeship, there is no upper age limit anymore. So regardless of your age or your situation, you can apply for any of our apprenticeships and have the same opportunity as anyone else. Obviously, as long as you have the required maths and English, or we can work with you to obtain them. In terms of a sitting down desk-based job, I would strongly recommend looking at some of our business administrative and customer service-based opportunities, which are live on the website. And that would kind of give you the best blend of what you're looking for, and also sort of a step into a career in that direction, if that helps.
Great. So Andy, we do have some other questions, but I'm going to let you go through your presentation.
Yeah.
May well answer some of these questions. So to those of you that are asking questions, bear with us, and we'll come to them at the end of this next section. So back over to you, Andy. Thanks.
Thanks, Catherine, and thanks, Simon. So hi, everyone. I'm Andy Chalice. I'm the Business Development Executive over at Croydon College, working with employers across the capital to help generate apprenticeships for you to apply for. So why choose an apprenticeship? So apprenticeships are a great way for individuals at any point in their life to look at training up and learning new skills. So I'll touch upon some of the qualifications and programs we deliver a little bit later on, which can be from a junior level up to a degree. And one of the biggest opportunities this promotes to you is actually gaining skills, knowledge, behaviours, hands-on practical learning experience, and a qualification without having to take out any bursaries, student loans, or make any financial contributions towards your learning. You'll actually obtain a salary while you work towards your qualification as well. A lot of our qualifications are not only nationally recognised, but also industry recognised as well. So most people who do look to complete can either continue with an apprenticeship at a high level with that same employer. They can move on to full-time employment, And we do get the odd occasion where individuals may actually decide to follow up their course by returning to university or other mainstream forms of education. Again, with an apprenticeship, the idea is about gearing you up for the world to work. And a great example of this is in areas such as our digital marketing and IT programs. And the reason I say this is, unlike in college, where you'll typically be taught the current software that college or may be used in their sector at the moment, with an apprenticeship and being in a workplace, you're always adapting and picking up new technologies, new skills as you go along, which only further enhances your career prospects and your progression opportunities upon completion as well. Next slide, please. Now, an apprenticeship comes with a whole host of benefits for yourself. As I touched on a moment ago, there are no fees. So you will actually earn a paid salary, starting with us, of about £5 per hour for the first year, although some can vary from 10,000 to up to 20,000 per year for an apprenticeship. Most of our courses we do start at any point in the year. So if you are thinking, oh, do I have to wait until September when college reopens? That's not true. Most of our apprenticeships are still being live and recruited for, despite there being an ongoing pandemic, and companies are keen to see new talent and who is available in the job market. As long as you're age 16 or over and you've got a UK or EU citizenship, you can apply for an apprenticeship regardless of sector, pay, or duration of that. Again, it's a fantastic way to gain hands-on experience and a qualification. It leads to, as I said, the opportunity to either remain in full-time employment with whoever is hosting your apprenticeship, which we do see more often than not, and it helps people get into the career ladder. Or you can use this as a step to higher education, maybe as a precursor to going back to university or doing a degree apprenticeship standard. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's all individualized learning. So a lot of the course content you will learn is based around the work that you do, meaning you're taught the essential skills to benefit you in that work, in that sector, as opposed to learning a blanket method and that might not have real world applications for you. And here are just some of the examples of the employers we work with. We have the benefit at Croydon College of being one of the largest providers in the South East area. And alongside myself and the rest of the team who you meet later on, we work with a whole host of famous national brands in construction, such as Ardmore and Axis. We work with Croydon University Hospital, Price Building Solutions, Pension Protection Fund, and hundreds of other clients, from small SMEs through to big corporate nationals. Our connections, which I work on, extend across numerous sectors. So this can be construction, engineering, business and professional, science, technology, engineering and maths, digital and IT, to name but a few. All our assessors are in-house, and they work with yourself and with the employers to really help fine-tune the program and the modules you do to give you the best input into your learning and making it the most applicable to what you do in the workplace. We offer a whole range of student support, which will be offered to you once you're enrolled, which will be touched upon later. And this can include things such as access to our extensive library, our e-portfolio selection, our student services, financial assistance, and our safeguarding and welfare team. My job as the business development executive is to continue to promote strong links with employers, making sure we've always got suitable and also productive opportunities to offer to individuals such as yourself. So do keep an eye on our vacancy tab if you don't feel that there's anything quite right for you at the moment, as this can change on a weekly and daily basis as we pick up new live jobs. And this is just an example of some of the areas that you can find an apprenticeship with us here at Croydon. So when we talk about STEM, or science, technology, engineering and maths, we mainly focus on areas such as engineering, which can be within manufacturing or product test and track. We do building services, which includes plumbing, heating and electrical ventilation. construction management from bricklayers and carpentry all the way up to site supervisors and quantity surveyors, facilities management, and then, of course, our other big sector is business and professional. So this is finance, teaching and teaching assistants, business administration, IT, and these opportunities can be across a whole host of employers. So you might do a plumbing vacancy within a local hospital. You might do finance within a construction company. So there is a great deal of scope and variety within these programs as well. And we'll touch upon a couple of these examples a little bit later on, or please refer to our Croydon College vacancy website. And if I can just pass back to Catherine now, who will pass on to Gail McKay, our lead assessor.
Thank you very much, Andy. A few more questions have come in. So just before we move over to Gail, whether yourself or Simon might want to answer. It's a really interesting one. We've had a question asking, is it possible to complete an apprenticeship and sixth form / college at the same time? Now, this is an interesting point, isn't it? Because obviously Croydon College can offer a whole wealth of opportunities in terms of learning, and apprenticeships is just one of them. But I think I'm right in saying you can't do both, although you can study alongside an apprenticeship. Andy, do you want to pick up on that? Or
yeah, so with an apprenticeship, it's still a funded training program, so you wouldn't be able to do an apprenticeship whilst also doing any other form of funded education. So that includes being at a college, doing A-levels. It might be you're doing a private course. It might be that you're in university as well. So you wouldn't be able to mix and match both. With an apprenticeship, it's also important to note it's a full-time course you're applying to. So whether it's a 1 year or a 4 year program, you'll typically spend 4 days at the workplace learning hands-on skills while getting paid, with a day or a day and a half in the college or taking part in virtual learning. So there really won't be much time for any other learning at that point. So yeah, it's one or the other.
Simon, we talk about the world of work, and the college, the brand, the world of work is a really important one, because the message here is that there is a whole world out there, and there are a number of different pathways you could take, presumably, to get into work. So what would your advice be to people who are perhaps undecided about whether they should go to sixth form college, whether they come college? Well, how does that work?
Absolutely, yeah. That's a really good question. At the end of the day, I think it's about making informed decisions, and I think speak to as many people as you can. We do have I'm perhaps biased because I know how good we are at Croydon College. You may be studying in sixth form, you may not be doing anything at the moment. The best thing to do is come and engage and talk, because we've got experts in providing impartial advice and guidance. So don't stop what you're doing and think, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm going to look for someone else. Stay engaged. You're much more employable when you're engaged in doing something, okay? And if you think it's not quite right for you, go and get that advice, and we can help steer and get that alignment, help you identify which sector you're interested in, okay? Because that's what it's about. It's a long, you're going to be working for a long time. So it's about finding something that, that floats your boat, so to speak, something that you're really interested in. And then we can work out that roadmap and how you can get there and become professional in that field, get into employment and get on that career trajectory, if you like. Okay. So, whatever you're doing at the moment, keep doing it, but come and talk to us, and we will have something that we can offer and guide you.
I think that's really key, isn't it? Come and talk. It's difficult at the moment. The college isn't open to everybody. You can't just walk in. But following today, we will follow up with everybody that's been on this call to see whether you'd like to have a one-to-one conversation. Because I guess the advice that Simon, you and your team can give will be around, as you say, well, what is it that interests you? Where are you currently at? I mean, again, a question here from a lady, I think it's a lady, Anna Maria, who's looking for a career change at 38 years old. Well, why not? Because there's a whole world of opportunity out there.
Why not? Definitely. And what a great thing to be thinking. There's nothing worse than being on that treadmill and you're thinking, oh God, I really, I didn't know what I was doing when I went into this career 20 years ago. I'm stuck. No, you're not stuck. And I think that's a really good example to say, let's reboot, recalibrate my career. Let's get off and get in. There's so many emerging industries now. And what we're finding is that skills that perhaps older people may have are transferable, highly valuable. And actually people think, well, I'm in this sector, I'm in this industry. No, you can take those skills out and redeploy them in another field. So absolutely, I mean, do come and talk to us. It's absolutely essential, really. Yeah.
And I think the other thing which is going to come out as part of the rest of this webinar is the college has this whole wealth of facilities. So when you sign up for an apprenticeship with an employer, you are fully supported by the college. And I'm going to bring Gail in now because this ties in neatly to Gail's area. And so Gail, I'm going to hand back over to you to talk us through the next part of the presentation.
Hello everyone, my name's Gail McKay and I work at Croydon College and I'm a apprenticeship team leader. I'd like to just say that whatever apprenticeship you do, we will support you every step of the way. Next slide, please. Right, as you can see, we have a dedicated team of industry experts ranging from all types of backgrounds. We have an accountant teaching accountancy. We have people who have been in industry for many years, from the hospitality industry, teaching not only hospitality but other areas as well. So all of our assessors do come from industry itself and do have a wealth of knowledge. 20% off the job training. This is a government scheme that makes sure that everyone does have 20% off for learning during their working week. So this could be made up of coming to college, and this varies from different courses. For example, plumbers attend 1 day a week where heating and vent will come in a block release. Business admin students will come in roughly 3 hours a week. So it varies from course to course. However, off the job also includes being trained at work. So this could be you're shadowing someone, you're being mentored by a manager or a team leader. And it could also include any formal training that you have with regard to employment. For example, a healthcare worker might do a hygiene course. Blended learning. Blended learning. We have incorporated blended learning in many of our programs now. This is a mixture of face-to-face, when we're allowed in, of course, online learning, setting of assignments where the learner will work autonomously. So a learner will meet with their assessor, probably via Zoom or Teams meeting, and they will talk through an assignment. They will ask the questions that they need to know. They will be given some guidance. They will be given extra reading, and then the learner will go away and complete the assignment and then have a meeting either the following week or it might be 2 weeks. Of course, we're always there in the meantime for emails and any help that the student might need. E-portfolio to track and record your progress. We at Croydon College use OneFile, which is a really good system of tracking, of e-portfolio tracking. Learner will upload, will be given work from the assessor via the e-portfolio. The learner will then go away, complete the work, and then upload the work for the assessor to read through and give feedback on. We can also track progress. Your employer can have login details to your e-portfolio so they can track your progress and obviously help in any way they can. If they can see a particular unit coming up, they might say, right, okay, we'll give you some extra training on that to help you. So it's a really good system to keep them all engaged and all on track with everything. We carry out regular progress reviews, which incorporate the trainer, assessor, the employer, and of course the apprentice all together. So this is a really good platform to air any issues that you may have, or for the assessors to say what's coming up next, so the employer can put things into place for additional learning. Supporting preparing for formal assessments and exams. Of course, we do lots of practice for the apprentice when their endpoint assessment is coming up. We do practice multiple choice questions, we'll do practice discussions, we'll do mock PowerPoint presentations where they'll do it in front of hopefully their employer and the assessor. Right, additional one-to-one support where required. We are very lucky at Croydon to have 2 additional learning support practitioners who can help wherever needed. It's not just for those who have additional learning support needs. We also like to encourage learners to engage with the ALS practitioners to maybe just proofread their work, check through the grammar and that sort of thing. It just doesn't have to be if you have learning needs. And of course, pastoral and welfare support is really important, especially at this time. we do offer, obviously the assessor in the first instance will be the person to talk to, and we have a safeguarding and student service department where help can also be given in case there are obviously more serious concerns. Thank you. Next slide. Enhance your qualifications. So within our apprenticeships, we like you to enhance, we like you to sort of not just cover your apprenticeship, we like you to do enhancements. So for example, there we have a platform called Equal where there's lots of short courses that you can do. So this could be, for example, if you were I don't know, I'm trying to think of something now, a business admin person, you could do a course on minute writing, so how to set up minutes and do minutes. So it's lots of things like that. Also, enhancements also include practical training, shadowing, mentoring, industry visits and attendance at competitions. Learning support and time spent writing assessments, this is also covered in your 20%, but any support you need will be given for that as well. So work placements, meetings with your assessors in line with managers and around development, shadowing other members of staff in the workplace. This all again comes under your 20% of off the job. Next slide, please. Right, over to Holly now, or back to Catherine first.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gail. Just before Holly joins us, just to pick up again on a couple of things here. Jeremy's asking, once you're on your apprenticeship, is it possible to change subject, work area, change employer? Now, presumably you're continually assessed, and it may not work out for you, or it may not work out for the employer. So, Gail, how does that work?
Yes, you can change your employer. It is a bit more difficult, obviously, because a new employer, once you start your apprenticeship, say you're 6 months in, then someone's taking on an apprentice for then the final 6 months. So that it can sort of create some sort of overlap, really. And some employers aren't always happy to take on an apprentice for 6 months. They do prefer them to have the whole, but it is possible, and we have done it in the past.
And I guess again that's about the support that you and the team give, Gail, because if you realise that someone's a little bit of a square peg in a round hole, then it's better to try and work that through and find an alternative opportunity than to lose it altogether. So that's really helpful as well. I mean, again, I've got a question from Camille, who's 25. How does it work for her? Well, it very much works for her, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And see us, Camille. There's so many apprenticeship options open to you. From business admin, try and get into the IT areas. We're hoping to have some more pension apprenticeships, which is a really good career move. And it's like quite a unique area. So there's lots of things out there. Okay, the money's not great to begin with, but your apprenticeship goes so quickly, and then you really are on the ladder. So really good career.
And just to remind everybody watching that this is day one of National Apprenticeship Week, and here at the college we have a whole week of activity that you can join in with. And tomorrow we do have a webinar where we are inviting our employers to talk to you. So we have around 9 employers who are coming in, and they'll be on a similar format to this, and you'll be able to actually hear from them about their vacancies, about their companies, and there might be something that's of interest to you. So do stay with us for the whole week. There'll be lots more information that we can share with you over the course of this week. So thanks very much, Gail. Holly in now. Hi, Holly. You are going to talk to us very importantly about next steps and how to apply. So over to you, Holly.
Thank you. So hi everyone, I'm Holly. I'm the Apprenticeships Admissions Manager at Croydon College, and I'm going to talk you through how to apply for an apprenticeship with us. Next slide. Thank you. So to apply for an apprenticeship, we advertise our vacancies on the college's website as well as the National Apprenticeship website. Once you have made the application for the vacancy, we will shortlist your application, where you will then be invited for an initial assessment. So the initial assessment is for us to ensure that you are eligible for the apprenticeship. So we will check that you have the right maths and English qualifications, you're eligible to work in the UK, And if you have any prior learning or previous experience within the trade, we can ensure that you're not covering this again during your apprenticeship. If you don't have maths and English qualifications, that is also okay, because we offer functional skills at level 1 and level 2 alongside our apprenticeships. Next slide, please. So after your initial assessment, we will help you to write a CV and covering letter. And this is sent by us to the employer, and it is really up to the employer then if they would like to interview you or not. Once you are selected by the employer for an interview, we'll help you with interview techniques. So anything from if you're nervous, if it's your first time, we can do practices, just so that you are ready for your interview. Next slide, please. And just covering further on that. So just ensuring that when you are communicating with us, you attach your most recent CV. If you need help writing a cover letter, we can do this for you. And as I said, we can assist you with interview preparation throughout your time with us. And I'll pass you back to Catherine. Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much, Holly. So Holly, very much the message to everyone today is, if you're watching this and you want to know more, obviously go onto the website, see if there are vacancies that you're interested in. But I guess also pick up the phone or drop an email, and you and the team can help further, because you are actually applying for a job, aren't you, for an apprentice? So what you need to remember is that the employer, in the same way as they would be interviewing for a normal vacancy, they still want to see that CV, they still want to see a strong cover letter. So that's an important part. So you shouldn't be put off if you haven't got that information. So Holly, you and the team would help with that, is that right?
Yeah, so we provide the full job description on the website. Just make sure, when reading the job description, are you going to be able to travel 30 minutes? Is the wage going to cover this? Is this a role? Is this something you enjoy doing? And just making sure that you use that information when applying to make sure it's right for you, because some apprenticeships, for example, plumbing, it's a 48-month course, so it's a big commitment. So just ensuring that when applying for the apprenticeship, you've researched. Please call us, email us if you have any questions. We're here to help and assist you at any point.
So it's not that you're just applying almost blindly. What you're basically doing is saying to yourselves and your colleagues, I'm interested in being an apprentice. I think this vacancy might be something that's of interest, but it might not be the right vacancy. So presumably you can help and advise and guide the people into that, to what might work best.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. I'm going to invite Lashanda to come in. She's going to talk us specifically about giving some examples of what vacancies are at. And Anne-Marie, I know you're looking for an opportunity as a data analyst. It may well be that there's one of those, or it may not be. But Lashanda, over to you. Welcome.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Lashanda Malcolm, and I'm the admissions officer at Croydon College. So I'm just going to go through some of the live vacancies that we have currently advertised. So currently we just have about under 40 live vacancies available to apply for. They change and update on a regular basis. So every Monday, ideally that side of the website, so the vacancy list on the Croydon College website is updated, so you can have a look every Monday or maybe day after. And we cover a very broad range of different sectors, so including business administration, customer service, digital marketing, and some construction ones such as carpentry, bricklaying. And they range between level 2 to level 4, level 5. And the duration of the apprenticeship usually ranges between 12 to 48 months. Next slide, please. So this is just a few job vacancies that we have currently advertised. So there's our HR support apprenticeship role with a company called Schlumberger. And it's a global oil field service. So if you're really interested in getting into the HR field, that may be a really good type of apprenticeship rather than just business administration. We have a level 4 quantity surveyor and site technician apprenticeship. So 2 roles with a company called P. Cullihan & Co. So if you have some experience in the construction field and you want to upskill into that kind of apprenticeship, if you just recently left college, this is a really good apprenticeship job role as well. There's a painting and decorating level 2 apprenticeship, and there's also a business administration apprenticeship with a Universal Estates, which is a estate agency. And we do have quite a few other ones, such as a bricklaying apprenticeship role. We have quite a few carpentry apprenticeship job roles as well. And they're all on the Croydon College website.
Thank you very much, Lashanda. Lashanda, if everyone would like to come back on, and we'll take some general questions. But Lashanda, I'm going to put you on the spot because I happen to know that you started your life at the college as an apprentice. So tell us a little bit about that. What were you an apprentice in? I think, Holly, that might apply to you as well. But let's come to Lashanda first. Hi, Lashanda.
So I was a business administration apprentice for about a year. And after that, I sort of upskilled into ed recently. So it wasn't just completing the apprenticeship and then having to go somewhere else. It's really just progressing into something, a more fitted role, using the skills that I've gained throughout the year and possibly progressing in the near future.
Great. Simon, I'm going to bring you in because this is quite common, isn't it? You know, most employers, I imagine, that take on apprentices are really looking at this for a long-term thing, and it's not that they just want an apprentice and then they want to move on. Would that be fair?
Absolutely. That's a really good point. Lashanda's a really good example there. You know, I say in life, you know, the harder you try, the luckier you seem to get. And, you know, Lashanda's a great example that she's invested into her studies. Great, you know, really role model apprentice, really. And look what happened. She finished her apprenticeship, and we, the college, said, you know what? We actually want to take Lashanda on. So a lot of companies want a homegrown talent, you know, whether that person is 16 or 60, you know, it's about being able to get someone in and train and develop them so that they can then they want to get a return on their investment. You know, they've invested that time and effort into that person. And if that person resonates with the organization and the future vision of the directors, they want to be part of that journey, you know. That's a really exciting prospect. Of course, sometimes an apprenticeship doesn't necessarily, you know, it comes to the end and, you know, companies say, look, I genuinely can't afford to take this person on. But we do have employers in that position, but those are also employers that have got a brilliant track record of providing fantastic apprenticeships. And those people are then upskilled. They've got those really core transferable skills, and they can then go on with really a kind of, a passport, really, a career passport, and they can go on and go elsewhere. But, you know, there are massive opportunities to develop within the organization. But if that didn't work out, you can progress elsewhere. So brilliant.
And Lashanda and Holly, do feel free to come in. But Lashanda, did you know what you wanted to do? You know, at the point where you thought being an apprentice was a good idea, did you know what you wanted to do, or how did it work?
Actually, like a few days before I even started, I didn't really know what an apprenticeship was. I was just advised about it, and then came in and realized this is something I really want to get into. And it all sort of just fell into place.
It's into place, yeah. And what about you, Holly?
So I started at the college in 2016 as an apprentice. So I did a business admin level 2, then I progressed onto level 3, and then it took about 18 months out just to have a little bit of break from studying, but still working at the college as a recruitment officer, and then recently just got promoted to the apprenticeships admissions manager, and I know if I hadn't started my apprenticeship I would never have been in this situation that I'm in now. So really grateful.
That's great. Simon, I want to ask you a question about these levels, because I'm conscious that people watching may not understand levels. I certainly don't. And what is the right level to come in at? What does all that mean? And how do you know when you look at those vacancies whether you're applicable for level 2 or level 4 or whatever it might be?
Totally. Yeah. I think one first thing I would like to start with really is the new apprenticeship standards. All the apprenticeships are called apprenticeship standards now. And I did my apprenticeship quite a long time ago. I did a 4-year apprenticeship long time ago. But what we've got now is we've got what we call parity of esteem. And what that means is years ago, you know, you had people doing A levels and then it was always, they did vocational. But actually the currency, this is important, the credit value of an apprenticeship is up there with A levels and such like. And the higher levels, like the 4 and 5s, they are up there with degree level, okay? And foundation degree level. That's really important. And I think, you know, the point that we mentioned earlier on is, you know, earn while you learn. You know, I mean, you know, you can end up with a 30, 40 grand debt. I've gone down the the degree route, or you could go down the apprenticeship route, get the same qualifications. Now, in terms of levels, depending on some more complex ones, like for example, gas engineering as an example, you can imagine we need, you're dealing with gas and it's quite a dangerous thing. So it's quite a technically in-depth, so you're talking about sort of level three as a minimum standard there. And because of the technical content, the duration then comes in, as Lashonda and Andy mentioned, apprenticeships from 12 months to 48 months. Obviously, the size and complexity of the apprenticeship will determine the level, the technical level, the professional level, and the duration, of course, because some have got a lot of content. They've all got three core things: skills, knowledge, and behaviors. Those are three common themes throughout, whether you're doing a level 2 admin or a level 4 site management. They've all got those three fundamental elements. Okay, so in terms of levels coming in, as Holly mentioned just now about functional skills, all apprenticeships do need English and maths. So someone might, there might be someone that did their O levels 30 years ago and said, well, I don't know, I can't remember. But the point is, the main thing is really, the essence of it is to make sure that someone's got a minimum level of, if you like, literacy and numeracy, because every technical apprenticeship now needs a minimum level of English and maths, of course, applied in the workplace. So the idea is, if you haven't got those prerequisites, like the grade C or the grade 4, it's not a problem. If we think the apprenticeship is right for you, that employer wants to take you on, we work with you to kind of, if you like, to close that skills and knowledge gap in terms of your literacy and numeracy. So hopefully that gives a kind of an insight into the breadth and the level of the apprenticeship. So
really then, regardless of your age, 16 to 62 or beyond, regardless of where you stand with your current qualifications, there is an opportunity, because 100%. If you don't have that minimum level, then I think, as Holly mentioned, you can top that up through additional learning at the college, for example.
Totally. And I probably ought to also add as well, this is really important as well for employers or people that maybe feel like they've hit a peak in their career within the business. They love the company, but they don't think, is there anywhere more for me to go? Actually, that their employer may not have even thought about, going on to an apprenticeship. So apprenticeships aren't necessarily just for people that want a job. They might be someone that's already in a job somewhere that the employer can then tap into funding that's available to them through either the levy or through, ESFA funding to support that person in upskilling and developing them. So, you could have a loyal employee that's worked for that company for 30, 40 years, maybe hasn't got any qualifications, but has got a raft of skills and knowledge and experience, and actually give that person the recognition to upskill, because now companies are having to really think carefully about how they future-proof their organizations. And if they've got loyal staff, often they are the ones that they say, do you know what? I want to invest in you, because we're moving into quite a unknown territory, if you like, with the way things are currently with Brexit and so on. So whether you're in a job that you love working for that company, you may want to still talk to your employer about, hey, look, I'm quite interested in an apprenticeship. We've got adult apprenticeships in the college studying as well as doing their job. So absolutely,
and there literally are. There's loads of courses, aren't there? I mean, if you go on to the website, you'll see that there is really, a course for everyone and everybody. I guess it does rely on having the business willing to effectively sponsor that course. So obviously there has to be a vacancy and an opening. Andy, maybe just bringing you back in here, because you're very much on the coalface of talking to businesses in Croydon. And at the moment, there is an additional incentive for businesses, I believe, from the government to encourage people in the current climate to look at the apprenticeship route. And indeed, as Simon mentioned earlier, there's the Kickstart campaign as well, which is a government-funded initiative. And obviously, distance learning is another way you can upskill at usually no cost, because most distance learning is funded. But Andy, just talk to us a bit about tomorrow, because we have a webinar tomorrow where we do bring some employers together, which may well be of interest to people watching. You're on mute, Andy.
There we go. Thanks for that, Catherine. So yes, tomorrow we have the pleasure of having 6 employers, I think, now confirmed, Catherine, who are going to join us on tomorrow's session at the same time to actually talk to you a little bit more about their organisations and the actual apprenticeships that they're looking to hire right now and in the next couple of weeks and months. Hopefully by the time we come out of lockdown, you can start a new job with them, as recruitment activity is still going ahead. Just talking about what you touched upon earlier, Catherine, about all the different schemes and programs. I think for me, one of the more interesting trends I've noticed over the last couple of months is actually the change of direction from employers. Historically, we would see sort of a lot of employers just getting apprentices on sort of your standard business admin, customer service roles, which are a great entry talent and way to get into the job sector. But I'm actually coming across more and more employers like Schlumberger and P. Colohan, who Lashonda talked about earlier, who are actually looking at a wider range of specialisms. They're looking at higher level qualifications. They're looking at industry and sector specific ones. So it's no longer a case of do business admin and hopefully in 2 to 3 years you'll work your way up to HR. We're seeing that companies now are really exploring apprenticeships to fill urgent needs and future needs within their workforce. And this is creating a wealth of opportunity in terms of the types of roles you can apply for, the types of sectors, the industries that are now considering apprenticeships. We've got another session on Thursday, specifically around non-clinical roles within the NHS. So if you just think of the different departments and areas within a single hospital and what each of those might need in terms of staffing, there is a wealth of opportunities out there. So as with Simon said earlier, get engaged with us, have a conversation with us, find out what's out there. The vacancies change near enough every other week. So keep a track on that. If there's something that doesn't quite pick your fancy now, honestly, the worst thing you can do is just settle for it and hope something better comes along. Let us know what your interests are. We might have something ticking off in the background that we can talk to you about or save your application for when a role comes available. So
great.
Rule one, get engaged and see what we can do.
Thanks, Andy. I've got a question about, do you need to live in Croydon to take a Croydon apprenticeship? Simon, do you want to come in there? You're on mute, Simon. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh.
I was busy actually messaging Jeremy back on that one.
Answer it live.
But it was a really good question. Jeremy's asked, and if you don't mind me mentioning you, Jeremy, about where, does it matter where you live to get an apprenticeship in Croydon? Absolutely not. Holly touched on it a little earlier, really. It's more about, can you sensibly travel? No employer would discriminate against someone provided they can turn up for work. They're there, they're work ready, they work effectively, and they contribute. It's your problem. If you decide you want to fly down from Glasgow every morning to get, and then travel from the airport to taxi, realistically, that's not going to happen, is it?
No.
But actually, I'm sure it has happened. But realistically, distance, I would say, and you've got to think to yourself about logistics, travel, transport, what's reasonable. And I think Holly used a good example, half an hour, maybe an hour, to get to and from finding trying to travel independently, because at the end of the day, that employer needs you to be there when your contract says you're going to be there, doesn't it? And a lot of people, depending on the types of jobs, some are working remotely now. Others, of course, it's an apprenticeship where you might be picked up outside your house at 6 o'clock in the morning by your supervisor, and you jump in the van and you travel off to Southampton for the day, So every role's different, but no limits to where you live. It's just about whether you can.
If I can just clarify on that, Catherine, there is some exclusions to this within the construction industry. So P. Colohan is an example of this, where as part of their contract, you do need to be a Croydon resident. So always do, particularly if it's a construction-based opportunity, check the website. We'll usually state on there, or if you're not sure, speak to us. For most courses, you can apply anywhere, but there are unfortunately some limitations within construction.
That would be where the local authority has insisted as part of their planning application that they have to employ locally, which is a good thing to get
if you're not
people
sure,
into local jobs.
Ask.
Yeah, no, that's great. I've got a question from Maria about, she's an ESOL student, so English is not her first language, and she does have an Italian diploma. How does it work in terms of her, Simon, or anyone else?
Yeah.
Again, I would say, obviously, currently an ESOL student, I guess, Maria, currently, yeah. And Maria's already mentioned that she's got other qualifications. So, apprenticeships aren't about academic ability. I'd just say that. But if someone's got prior learning, that's sort of, if you like, and Holly mentioned this, prior learning. We take into account prior learning. Now, if language is a barrier, obviously the whole idea of the ESOL program is to support, that sort of language barrier. So I would certainly say, for Maria, if you're on the ESOL course, carrying on, completing that, but there's nothing to stop you simultaneously talking to us about an apprenticeship, because it can take, it can sometimes take maybe 6 weeks or so from that point of inquiry through to getting on that placement, by which time I'm sort of familiar with the ESOL qualifications. And it says something about you, doesn't it? When an employer gets someone, to me, I'd be thinking, wow, this person's dealing with their language barrier. They've already got some technical qualifications from their country of residence originally. Yeah, I'm really interested to talk to this person, see what they can offer. So absolutely. And in terms of NARIC, the system that we use for checking the validity and the credit value of international qualifications, that's something we can look at as well. But certainly that would not stop you, Marie, in terms of applying for an apprenticeship at all. In fact, it would tick a big box, the fact that you're investing in your own development, really. Yeah.
Okay. Holly, just bring you back in. And if I could ask all of you from the college, pop your contact details in the chat, because, if people want to pick up with you directly, just to ask for some more advice offline via email, I'm sure everyone on this call with this webinar would be very happy to help. And we will pick up with you anyway after this to make sure that we have answered all your questions, or indeed that we might be able to help get you into an apprentice, or indeed any other form of study here at Croydon College and the world of work. But Holly, just picking up on that, presumably you get applications from all over. Is that right?
Yeah, so we get applications from different countries sometimes. So I would say if the vacancy is right for you, just make sure you apply for it, bearing in mind as well that there are other people applying. So please ensure that you have read the job description and you think, what do I have strengths that match what they're looking for? Yes, let me explain those. Let me use what they've put in the job description and my strengths so that I can show them that I am the right person. It's really, really, really important that you read the job description and speak to us. We'll have conversations with you and notice your strengths that you can then use when you're at the interview. So please just use us as much as you can, because we're here to help.
I think that's a really valid point, isn't it? Just because you apply, you could be applying alongside a whole wealth of other people. So you are in a competitive job application situation. So you might not get that first vacancy that you apply for. I guess the message is, once we've connected with you and we're having that conversation, then the team can help you to source other opportunities if you're not successful, presumably.
Yeah, so if for example, you aren't successful at an interview, that doesn't then mean we'll say, okay, bye. We wouldn't do that. We'll work with you more. We'll do more interview preparation. We'll have a look further into vacancies. Use as well, we always get employer feedback. So we'll use that feedback from the employer to help you next time. So please don't feel, I didn't get the job, I won't try again. It's important, you keep trying. We're here to help you and you will get there.
I think it's probably on that very point, feedback is the most important thing we ever get in our careers. And people don't often get it to the level that it is useful to them or respond to it. But, what's really important is what Holly said there. If you go for a job, you might not have been for a professional interview before. It could be your first time. So, you might not do a fantastic job, even though you think you prepared. Someone might pick you to it. But the feedback that you get, you take that on board and we work with you, then that might be the feedback that can make a difference when you go for the dream apprenticeship that you think, my God, I want to smash this. And, you will be at a massive advantage if you've been through that experience, what it feels like. you know the pitfalls and the challenges, and it just helps better prepare you, really. It's the best thing ever, really, taking advantage of that feedback. Yeah.
I think that, the biggest thing, and there's some nice comments that have come in from people watching who said they found it helpful, but, hopefully what's coming across in this webinar is that, there is a team of people here who are here to help you. You're not in it on your own, and at no point will you be on your own. You will be fully supported on your journey, and it might not be ending up in the way you perhaps envisaged it when you first made contact, but one way or another, the team will try and help you, and that's why it's called the World of Work at Croydon College. One way or another, the team will try and support you into that world of work and help you along your journey. I just want to remind people, we have put in the chat that there is a link to the website, and on the website you'll be able to sign up to our other sessions that are taking place this week. And just as a shout out to those, so that you can register now if you haven't done so already. Tomorrow at 10 we do have our Meet the Employer webinar, which, as we've already said, is an opportunity to hear from about 6 or 7 actual employers based in Croydon who are currently using apprenticeships for their workforce. They might not have vacancies, but what they can do is talk to you about how they view apprenticeships and what they're looking for. So some really good, helpful guidance there from actual employers that are using apprenticeships as part of their workforce. Now, on Wednesday, Croydon College is taking part in the virtual national apprenticeship show. Now this is, as it says, a national event. It's happening online, and Croydon College is exhibiting virtually at that fair. If you go onto the link on our website, you will be able to see exactly who's exhibiting there. So alongside Croydon College, there are all sorts of employers exhibiting, a lot of national companies. You'll be able to virtually wander around all of the stands and find out from them about their vacancies, as well as the team here will be online to again answer your questions, and we have a live vacancy board going up on that. So that's happening all day from 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So do please pop in and out of that as you will. On Thursday, Andrew's already mentioned that we're working in partnership with the Croydon University Hospital, and there is a webinar all about apprenticeships in the health sector, the NHS. And that isn't about being an actual clinical nurse. It's about actually other opportunities to support the NHS in the back end, if you like. And there's a whole wealth of opportunities. And as we know, such an important area at the moment. But there are many, many opportunities to join the NHS in a non-nursing clinical capacity. So do please log into that. And then on Friday at 10 o'clock, very importantly, we're going to be dedicating our webinar to higher apprenticeships. And we've spoken a little bit this morning about levels, but I'm just going to ask Simon to come back in, because obviously at the college we do have a university centre. We have the Croydon University Centre. It's part of our college, our collegiate of 3 colleges. So that's Croydon College, Coulson College, and Croydon University Centre. And Simon, tell us just a little bit about those higher levels.
Absolutely. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah. So traditionally, we'll all know that the only way you could ever go on from a level 3 qualification, which is an A level, whether it's a technical or academic route, level 3, and to go on and do level 4, level 5 and 6 and so on was very much about the traditional university route. And what became apparent probably over the last sort of 8-9 years really is in industry, businesses and companies are really looking for those higher level technical and professional skills. Okay, that shortcoming, and often they would say, we've got people, they've gone through the apprenticeship route, they know about employability, they know about being job ready. Sometimes, not all cases, but sometimes someone leaves the university highly qualified academically, but haven't necessarily got those employability skills. So very much the level 4, level 5. Higher level apprenticeships is very much about enhancing you at that higher level. And as I said, the parity of esteem there means that the higher level apprenticeship has still got the same value, if you like, as maybe the degree levels and the foundation degree levels, but very much more there's much more synergy with regards to the world of work. So more technical, more professional, more focused around industry and the various world of business, rather than the sort of academic route, if you like. So that's it really. And of course, what you do the level 3, and then if you've done well and your company wants to invest to keep you because they know you're very talented, you may want to go elsewhere. They're going to want to invest in you to keep you, and there's an opportunity there to go on and do the higher levels.
So you can even get a degree, earn while you learn. You don't have to go to a university and have very high course fees. You can learn close to home at Croydon College, get a degree at a higher level apprentice. So hopefully this morning this has been helpful. We are recording this, and this webinar will be available on the Croydon College website to view. So if you want to re-watch it or you want to recommend it to other people, that would be great. But for me this morning and from the whole team here at Croydon College, just want to say thank you for joining us. We hope it's been helpful. The main message is get in contact. We're here to help, and we'd love to help you on your journey into your world of work. So thanks very much to everybody, to Holly, to Lashanda, to Gail, to Andrew, to Simon, for joining us. And we hope to see you tomorrow. We're here back at 10 a.m. For our Meet the Employer Apprenticeship webinar. So thanks very much and goodbye for now. Thank you.
Thanks, bye.